Hello and welcome back to the Wallen. My name is Beast, and today we're back with Hoshizora de Memoria. I'm just immediately gonna say that this part is not gonna be that long, since I did have a D&D session today, and it's now 11 p.m., so I'm not gonna be recording for too long. Though I do want to talk about something that happened near the end of the session, D&D session. Basically, the last few sessions were all about. This is another Flynn campaign one. I should probably mention and preface this. Basically, the entire campaign thus far has been us trying to like beat this bandit camp that's been threatening a village. And today we had another raid on the camp, and one of the leaders was there, and we managed to kill him. But upon closer inspection, found out that he was just a doppelganger, and suddenly the three barrels that were conspicuously in the middle of the fucking of the camp started boiling ominously, and the gate to the camp wouldn't open anymore. At that point, my character the entire time was in one of the watchtowers, because at the start of the combat encounter, before we started combat, we took out the dude in the in one of the guard in the watchtower, and positioned our two casters in them, and we just constantly just shot down at the enemies. And basically, while the other caster was pulled down mid combat, my Flynn was still in his tower, and as those barrels started boiling, the actual leader showed up at the rock walls, like rock mountain walls that were the walls of the camp, and just laughing. And it felt like it was about to like go into like a typical like villain monologue. So it was like Flynn, seeing him laughing like that, just kind of gets pissed off and shoots an Eldritch Blast. And I think I mentioned before how after getting in a situation that really got him pissed, I said for fun that he shot an Eldritch Blast at a nearby tree. And the DM was like, yeah, just pure pissed off, empowered it, and just blasted the fucking tree. Well, something similar happened in a way. Not from the DM, but from luck itself. Because uh, I got a nat 20 immediately and rolled max damage. So this dude, because he was like 150 feet away laughing his ass off, didn't see it coming when my character, by the way, his Eldritch Blast has a max range of 300, though he gets disadvantage between 150 and 300 because of a class feature that he has. Homebrew, the DM did okay it, so you don't have to worry about that. But basically, I fucking rolled a nat 20, rolled max damage, so overall, the Eldritch Blast did 24 damage. So basically, he's like here, like laughing his ass off, about to start the villain monologue, and he just sees this fucking thunderous wave of energy just fly towards him, and the DM just straight up said that he was not prepared for this. Just gets hit straight in the fucking face and flies back like a couple feet before like just like lying there for a sec before getting up. And that was hilarious. That was so unfucking point. It's so fucking well timed. It was great. It was fantastic. But yeah, now that I talked about it, let's just move into this. Komomo woke up again. Izgaki Komomo jolts up in her bed. She saw it again, the dream where she falls amidst the sunset background. Crimson nightmare. Yet it isn't only that crimson in her dream. Lately, after falling all the way down, she freezes. She feels a terrible, unbearable cold. Then gradually, even that sensation fades away, and her crimson-dyed vision is painted over in black. What awaits her at the end is death. The absolute nothingness that remains in the darkness. The overwhelming sense of both loss and desperation. A scream of distress which never comes out no matter how much he tries. Komomo looks down at that cold, lifeless body. She hugs her own shoulders, which shake intensely as a result of the chill she's having. Through that overwhelming sense of dread, she manages to tell herself it'll be alright. I won't lose to these nightmares. No matter what happens, I won't relent. Because nothing will change. Nothing's gonna change between us. He told me that. She then lowers her hands from her shoulders down to her abdomen. The pain has yet to fully go away, but neither too has the warmth she received from him yesterday. Kokosaka is right here, she reminds herself. He's that close. I can feel this if I can feel it this vividly, I'll accept it all and live with it, no matter what may await me. Komomo just over here like I am fully prepared for teenage pregnancy.
おはようございます、姉さん。朝ごはん、もうできてる？今、お母さんが作ってますよ。そう。姉さん、珍しいですね。何が？パジャマのまま、ここに来ることが、です。いつもは顔を洗ってすぐに着替えます。うっかりしてた。体調、優れませんか？そうじゃないわ。寒気はあるけど、本当にうっかりしてただけ。小ヶ坂さんのことを考えて、ぼーっとしてたんですね。なんでそうなるのよ。姉さん。今夜はお時間、ありますか？用事でも、あるの？はい。展望台で用事があるんです。展望台が苦手な姉さんには、心苦しいお願いではあるんですけど。わかった。
Komomo perceives that this request is something important to Kosame. That is why she's able to instantly agree to it.
今夜、展望台に行ってあげるわ。ありがとうございます。
In addition, she registered that this is a very serious matter to the both of them. Including today, we have the next 3 days off school. So I suppose this, by now, routine service of mine will extend over 3 days in succession. In fact, alone is getting me more antsy and excited than the fine fall weather we're having.
遅いわよ、Kogayo.
Don't call me Kogayo. Arriving to see Sakaki already having started sprinkling ahead of me has also become a part of the routine at this point.
10分前行動くらい守れって。何度言わせるつもりなのよ。
I'm positive I made it 10 minutes at a time, exactly on the dot too.
5秒の遅刻。
She's so fussy it is unreal. But man, the wind is pretty cold this morning, but then it just all of a sudden got a heck of a lot warmer once noon came around.
そう？結構寒いから、打ち水は軽くにしておこうと思ってたんだけど。
Now to get a better look at it, Hisaki's face is a little pale. Hisaki, how's your body feeling?
なんてこと聞いてるのよ。
Wait, time out here. Real talk, I have no idea why I got
まだ痛いに決まってるでしょ。初めてだったんだから。
With that, I catch on. Look, I told you we could quit it if it hurt too much, but no, we had to go. We had to even go and start moving your.
自分からじゃない。動いてたのは小ヶ坂くんでしょ。
Ah, no, I remember you getting kind of into it near the end, and.
誰も気持ちよくなんかなってないわよ。
If she has the energy to yell at me, I guess there's no need there's no need for worry in this regard. So, what have you had your nightmares?
どうって？
The reason you feel cold, I mean. It's because of those nightmares, right? The reason you feel cold, I mean, it's because of that nightmare, right?
大したことないから。
He's cocky. Please, I'm begging you, just don't push yourself. Say if it's hard on you. Every time I see you put on that brave face, it just hurts me deep down. Am I that unreliable to you?
そんなこと。
With a muffled voice, she finishes.
絶対ない。
The nightmare's making you feel cold, right? She nods, hesitating. Izakaki? I draw close to her and wrap my arms around her tight.
ちょっと。
You know, I should probably take a screenshot of this since I, like, weirdly enough doubt that I'm gonna get another new CG this part. And, motherfucker, I hate that it zooms in when you do that instead of just bring the fucking text box back. But yeah, because considering that I said I'd keep it short today, I weirdly enough doubt that I'm gonna get a new CG. Her body is frigid to the touch, so I strengthen my embrace.
小笠原くん
Is that any better?
誰か来た
I
ら見ら
know.
れるよ
Yes, they will. But if it's for you, none of that matters. Ladle falls out of her hand. After that, she also wraps her arms around
お
my
二人
back.
ともお仕事はもう終わりですか
Bam!
小雨じゃないどうしたのお仕事を手伝おうと思って来たんですけどそうじゃあオケに水汲んできてくれるそれより小笠原さんが綺麗に大の字で倒れているんですけど日向ぼっこをしたいんだってだから小雨早く行ってきてくれる小笠原さんも苦労が絶えませんね
Gossamer directs an apologetic bow towards me before heading off to get the water.
子がよ
How is this my fault?
ああいうこと急にやらないで
Then when can I?
それは二人っきりの時とか
Okay. Heave a sigh.
怒った
I guess you could say it just doesn't sit well with me.
心配してくれるのは嬉しいから
It's alright, I get
二
it.
人きりの時は私もしてあげてもいいから
Gossamer heard that, didn't she? Can't say I would have ever figured imagine something like that coming from Mizakaki's mouth. You'll hug me?
うんいろいろ
What, for instance?
キスとか
Just that? Sakaki's face flushes red and he jerks her
あな
shoulders.
たの好きなことしてあげるって言ってるの
Oh, stargazing, huh?
違うでしょ
Then what?
エッチなこと全部言わすな
Bam! After knocking me down with a kick, she walks off with a bright red face. You think there's lots of fun, but seeing that the price I have to pay is getting kicked, this is one harsh trade-off.
ほんと苦労が絶えませんね
Gossamer puts down a water-filled bucket and giggles, apparently having watched us. Please tell me the secret of how you can get this Please tell me the secret of how you get this wild horse under control.
姉さんは扱いやすいって思ったことはありませんか
Yeah, I have those moments as
小
well.
笠原さんだからそういう時があるんですよ
Yeah, but it kind of like to have her under control all the
本
time.
当にそんな関係を望んでいるんですか
No, I was just
本
playing.
気と言ったらなぎなたでバッサリ切っていたところです
As I'm talking with Kosame, Izakaki comes walking up to us in visible discomfort.
仕事やるわよ
Yep.
すぐに終わらせてしまいましょ
And I really hope we can continue having days like this. That is not just me and Izakaki, but Kosame with us as well. Red flag! After waiting for Izakaki to change, I visit her room. Don't you want to wear something a little heavier than that?
うなんでよ
Well, you feel cold, right? As we were sprinkling water and sweeping, Izakaki would oftentimes stop to hug her shoulders. I'm repeating myself for the umpteenth time already, but really, just don't push yourself. Izakaki sits down on her bed wordlessly and passes the space next to her. In compliance with the princess's wish, I sit down there.
寒い
Shall I warm you up? Embrace her. She's trembling, almost like a baby bunny. It's getting a little better. Why don't you also put on something heavier? about taking a warm shower as well while you're at it? Well, go and get ready. She makes no move.
小笠原くん。
Yeah?
今夜、私、展望台に行くの。
You need something there?
だから、ついてきてもらっていい？
Sure thing.
私のそばにいてくれる？
Of course.
ずっと？
Yeah. Skaki moves away from me and stands up. Are you gonna go take a shower now?
お風呂にする。
Okay. Skaki's eyes are stuck on the ground.
一緒なのよね。ずっと一緒なのよね。
Yeah, of course.
一緒に入ってくれるのよね。お風呂。
I never imagined things would play out like this.
やっほー。また？まやかさん、また飲んでますね。
酒に関してどうこう言われる筋合いは今回ばかりはないわね。
急にお呼び立てしてしまったことは謝ります。
あなたから私を呼ぶだなんて初めてね。しかもこんな早い時間に。
とはいえ、もう夜ですがね。
何かあったの？
はい。大切な何かが。
それは何？
私がこの仕事を降りることです。今夜はその報告がしたかったのですよ。
そう。
驚かないのですね。
なんとなく予想がついたからね。前回の報告会で仕事の遂行を命じた時、あなた一応上司として聞くけど、なぜ仕事を降りるの？
情けない理由ですが、情が移ったからですね。
彼女に？
はい。
それはさすがに驚きね。
私もですよ。
あなたは彼女を送り返したくないわけね。
はい。
代わりに私が送り返すとしたら？
あなたは私の敵となります。
総本社はどう考えるかしらね。
どんな処分も甘んじて受けるつもりです。
意志は固いようね。
だからこそ報告しているのです。
あなたは私を恨んでいる？
恨んでいるとは？
あなたをひばり校に入学させたことについてよ。
まさかこれを見越してのことですか？
何のことかしら？
あなたが私をひばり校に通わせたのは、そうすることで私が彼女と日常的に接触し、情が移るだろうと見越してのことですか？今のように仕事を降ろさせるためですか？
さすがに考えすぎよ。私はひばりが崎に興味がないあなたに少しでもひばりが崎を好きになってもらいたかった。ただそれだけよ。報告は終わり？
はい。
これからあなたはどうするの？
そうですね。まずは展望台に向かってみましょうか。どうも私の友人が先走っていそうな気がしますから。
Wait for night to come in Hisagaki's room and then leave the house. We take the train, get off at Hibaragasaki station, and now we're walking towards the lookout. Stop by my place on the way so that I can put on something heavier. Hisagaki is also dressed less lightly than this morning. Hibarigasaki's nights have come to be the stark image of fall temperature. Still kind of in the dark here. What is it you have to do at the lookout?
大切な用よ。私にとっても、小雨にとっても。それ以上、私も知らないの。でも、行けばわかるわ。
No matter what, huh? That's very like you.
バカにしてる？
No, I mean it as a compliment. Is it really alright for me to tag along too?
私が頼んだんだから、多分小雨も、あなたが来るって思ってるから。
It is darker than expected at the lookout. There's very little starlight tonight. The sky is veiled in clouds here and there. And like summertime, there are no fireflies either. Visibility is low. It's close to jet black darkness. Because of that, I don't catch sight of her at once.
お待ちしておりました。
Mare isn't here. Instead, she's waiting. Instead, she is
ご
waiting.
足労いただき、ありがとうございます。逃げずに来ていただき、ありがとうございます。これで、私も、心置きなく送り返すことができるでしょう。
There stands Komomo-Route, holding an Aginata in one of her hands. She reminds me of the way she looked back when we confronted each other back during the summer break. That time, Komomo-Route had her mind set on sending back Mare, and she displayed the exact same hostility I'm sensing now.
小雨、姉さん、不用意に近づいてよろしいんですか？姉さんならもう感づいていると思います。私のなぎなたがあなたを狙っていることに気づいていると思いま
Zukaki
す。
stops dead in her tracks, so you go ahead and step forward. You're going to reap her?
はい、
You're going to send her back?
はい。
Why now?
姉さんが死に対面する準備を整えたと判断したからです。小ヶ坂さんには感謝しています。あなたがいたからこそ、姉さんは毎夜の悪夢に屈しなかった。目を背けずに悪夢を受け入れることができた。過去の記憶を受け止めることができた。その死を理解できたんです。
Zukaki is speechless. The accident that occurred at the lookout in the past. Zukaki already remembered all of
そ
it.
の様子ですと、小ヶ坂さんも理解しているようですね。
Well, there's hardly any way I couldn't, with everyone warning me with such suggestive words. That is, of course, Setsuna and Mayaka. All of them indirectly informed me of the truth they themselves didn't want to touch
それ
upon.
では、そこをどいてください。
Sorry, but I can't do that.
メアさんの時と同じで、私の邪魔をするんですね。
Honestly, God, just stands up like you're not sending back a single person today. Yeah, like you're not sending back one single person today. Basically, like, okay, like, hey, listen here, either you're sending no one back, or at least two are going. That's what I have to do.
なぜですか？
You still need to ask me that. My reason is exactly the same.
お願いです。私は姉さんを送り返したいんです。これ以上、ここに留まっていてはいけないから、帰るべき場所が他にあるから。だから、送り返すしかないんです。
Every single facet is an exact replication of last time. So I can't say I understand how Cosme feels right now. Cosme, what you're saying isn't quite accurate.
どういう意味でしょう？
Are you expressing yourself in such confusing terms purposefully so we don't fully understand? So we don't feel guilty later on?
言っている意味がわかりません。
Does that Naginata only reap someone's nightmare without hurting that person like Mare's scythe? Answer me.
聖天宮にはその方法も伝わっています。玉送りと呼ばれる祈祷。取り物を使って相手についたまつろわぬものを自身の体に取り込み、その際、祈祷者は相手のまつろわぬものを共有するため、一時ではありますが、同じ辛さや悲しみを感じてしまう。私はまだ実践したことがありませんが、あなたが今考えているような心配は無用です。失敗したとしても、姉さんが怪我をすることはありません。なぎなたで、バッサリ切るわけではありませんからね。
But you did mean to cut Mare down now?
メアさんは悪夢そのものですから、場合が違います。私が今やろうとしていることは、人の身に潜む悪夢だけを刈り取ること、まつろわぬものを送り返すこと、 姉さんにとっての祭ろわぬものを送り返すことなんです。
There's the answer I desire to hear most. Tension escapes my shoulders. Let's just stop this.
私の話を聞いていなかったんですか？私は姉さんを送り返す。
It's all just a farce, isn't it? I know you aren't seriously going to attack Izakaki.
なぜそう言い切れるんですか？
That's more than obvious. It's the same as how it was with Mare. You're crying. If you still insist on continuing with this nonetheless, I'll ask Izakaki to punish you. Kosume lowers the naginata.
本当はここに刹那先輩も来る手はずだったんです。だけど断られたみたいです。私は振られたみたいです。姉さん。
Izakaki's still behind me, standing in befuddled
姉さ
shock.
んは頼りにできる人を見つけたんです。だから大丈夫です。姉さんは一人ではないんですから。
Kosume gets going. Suppose she's going to leave the lookout. Izakaki's nightmare that Kosume said she wanted to send back is set in stone at this point. There's no room for questioning it anymore. When Mia was about to reap Izakaki's nightmare, per my request, Setsuna intervened. Kosume didn't. Setsuna's feelings and Kosume's feelings. They are so very similar, yet at the same time different. Setsuna doesn't want to send her back, and Kosume, who doesn't want to send her back, but believes that she ought to be sent back.
小雨、
刹那先輩。
これから展望台に向かうのか？
いえ、用事はもう済みました。
そうか。一足遅かったのか。だが、間に合ったようでもあるな。君はまだ、私の前にいるのだから。小雨、もう余計なことはするな。私の仕事は失敗したんだ。
失敗？
そうだ。
お仕事を降りるんですか？
そうだ。
なぜですか？
君のせいさ。君が私の友人になったからさ。
I ship it.
だから私は悪夢を狩ることはしない。君の姉の悪夢を狩ることはしない。君を送り返すことはしないんだよ。
So in the end, it is her.
小雨は私を送り返そうとしたわけじゃなかったのね。私の悪夢だけを送り返そうとしたのね。
Izakaki hugs her shoulders. She shivers, holding out against the freezing cold reality. It wasn't that Kosume was out to reap Izakaki herself. It was only her nightmare she was after. Izakaki wasn't like Mare. Her very nature wasn't that of a nightmare. She only harbored one inside of her. She is probably a nightmare. Most likely, she is just an illusion. She doesn't exist in reality.
やっぱり死んでいるのね。小雨はもう死んでいるのね。
So that's the theory that it won out in the end. They continuously pulled very odd things that confused me, but I guess I should have just gone with the instinct of she said that she doesn't have the right to fall in love, and just take that as the okay, so she knows that she should be dead already. She's some kind of consumptuous contumacious existence. And she knows that she should be sent back at least at some point. Thus, she believes that she should not, does not deserve love and stuff like that. So I should have just fucking, I should have just stayed stubborn like I fucking usually do. Because by God, if I'm not stubborn, I don't know who is. Anyways,
ありがとうございます、せつな先輩。私を送り返したくないと言っていただいてありがとうございます。私はほっとしたかもしれません。いつだったかせつな先輩は私に聞きましたよね。あなたに近づいたのはこれが目的だったのかと。私に情を移して送り返すのをためらわせるためだったのかと。そうなのかもしれません。私は仕事に協力するふりをしてあなたに近づきたかった。友達の関係を結んで私を送り返すという仕事を諦めて欲しかった。帰りたくないから。死ぬのが怖いんです。すでに死んでいる身でも死にたくなかったんですよ。すべては私の弱さが生んだんですよ。
君は案外嘘が下手だな。この仕事はそもそも君が依頼したんだろう。まやかさんに頼んで自分を送り返してほしいと頼んだんだろう。そして私が総本社から呼ばれた。君自身が言った言葉じゃないか。
気が変わったんです。いざとなったら怖くなったんですよ。
そんな風に話してまた私を焚きつけるのか。未練がましさを演出して人思いに断ち切ってほしいと私を促し自分を送り返すよう仕向けるのか。もう手遅れなのさ。君の思惑は外れたんだ。君が私に近づいたのは自分のためじゃない。まやかさんと同じで私にひばりがさきを好きになってほしかったんだ。そしてそのひばりがさきで害をなすかもしれない君を私の手で送り返してほしかった。そのような理由を作れば私は君を送り返したとしても罪悪感を感じないだろう。私はみんなからも恨まれないだろう。君が描いたシナリオだ。君と展望台の死神のやりとりで私も悟ったんだよ。私が死神を送り返せば私はみんなから恨まれる。だから代わりに君が返すことにした。そして君自身はみんなから非難されようが問題にならなかった。送り返されてもいい存在だとみんなから思われたかったから。いずれ自分がいなくなっても誰も悲しまないように、私が非難されないように。君は結局自分のために行動していたんじゃない。
You see, like, they are still not too high in my character ranking, but this does improve it. It's not a case of her being just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna murder her, so she doesn't have the problem. She actually did have reason to believe that it would be better for her to do it, since she should be sent back the same way anyways. So it's better for her to get the short-term ill will and then be sent back, so everyone doesn't fucking isn't as hit with it emotionally. So it does fix her a bit. Is this person? I don't remember ending that one. Oh wow. Anyways.
友達のために行動していたんだよ。君を送り返すことは最初はたやすいと考えていたよ。クールダウンと呼べるほどたやすいと。なぜなら他の同類と違って君は抵抗する素振りがないから。いつでもその身を捧げる覚悟があったから。なのに今ではたやすいどころか難しい、最も難解な仕事に変わったのさ。
どうして？
君がこの諏訪刹那の初めての友人だからさ。
刹那先輩は間違っています。私にはそんな覚悟はない。死にたくないというのは本当なんです。
死にたい人間など言わしない。
私は弱い人間です。
違う。それは人として当然の感情だ。
姉さんと一緒に暮らしたい。
分かっている。
みんなのそばにいたい。
分かっている。
いなくなりたく。
分かっている。だから、私はこの仕事を降りると言っている。君を送り返す輩が他に現れたとしても、私が必ず守ってみせる。
でも、それではダメなんです。私は精神でも精霊でもありません。中途半端な存在です。姉さんが見ている歌方の夢です。そんな私がいつまでこんな風にとどまっていられるのか。突然いなくなってもおかしくない。こんな不確かな身でみんなのそばにいていいなんて思えないんです。
それでも私は君を友人だと思っている。かけがえのない親友だと。自分の手で親友と別れるほど私もまた強くない。
残酷です。姉さんと一緒でとても残酷です。
So Setsuna understands that. She knew that it would turn out like this. She knew that this decision would do nothing to ease Kosame's suffering. That this kindness would only serve to torment her. No matter what perspective you view it from, no matter what reasoning you try to sort it out through, it doesn't change the fact that Kosame will undoubtedly continue to suffer. That was why Setsuna had never valued the need for friends in the past. That was why Setsuna felt sick upon realizing her own weakness.
小雨!
Izagaki and I leave the lookout in pursuit of Kosame and find her in the vicinity of the fence. In addition to her, Setsuna is there standing next to her.
あなた、何考えてるの？自分からいなくなろうだなんて思ってないわよね。
Setsuna is casting her gaze downward in silence as if to imply that there is nothing more to her
さ
for
っ
her
き
to
は
say.
私の悪も狩るって本気で言ってたの？姉さん。小雨、答えて。答えてよ。じゃないと星置きしてやるから。私もう思い出してたのよ。
New CG! Oh, would you look at that? She has no face, therefore, naturally, this must be the main character in a wig!
忘れたはずの記憶、展望台の事故の全貌、少しずつでも思い出せていたの。悪夢は鮮明になっていたから、落ちて叩きつけられて死を経験して、なのにまだその先もあったから信じたくなかった。私は目を背けていた。あなたが死んだ事故のこと信じたくなかったの。姉さん、そうですよ。私はもうこの世のものではないんです。展望台で木登りをして姉さんを困らせようとしていた私は手を滑らせて落ちてしまった。助けようとしてくれた姉さんの手は届かず、そのまま私は地面に叩きつけられて、私は姉さんの目の前で死んでしまったんです。姉さんはショックだったと思います。悪夢にうなされ、その果てに事故の記憶を忘れてしまったんだと思います。現実から逃げてしまったんだと思います。だけど今、姉さんはやっと思い出してくれた。現実から逃げずに悪夢から覚めようとしている私の死を受け入れる強さを持ったんですよね。違います。思い出したのならわかるでしょ。姉さんを苦しめていた悪夢は姉さんが生んでいるものでした。そしてこの私の存在も 姉さんが産んだんです。私は姉さんの悪夢なんです。私は必要ないんです、姉さんにとって。違いません。違うのは姉さんの方です。だって姉さんは不正が大嫌いでしょ。私の存在は間違っているんです。間違いは正さなければなりません。だからそうじゃないの。私は小ザメと離れたくない。離れられるわけないじゃない。私たちはずっと一緒だった。生まれた時からずっと一緒だったのに。だからこそ大丈夫なんですよ。私はこれまでに姉さんからたくさんのぬくもりをもらいましたから。キスまでもらってしまいましたから。だからもう十分です。私は十分じゃない。もっと小ザメのそばにいたいの。これからも小ザメのそばにいたいの。残りは小ヶ坂さんからもらってください。いや姉さんは小ヶ坂さんが嫌いですか？そんなわけ。小ヶ坂さんのそばにいたくないんですか？そんなわけ。じゃあ大丈夫。姉さんは大丈夫。そして私も大丈夫だと思うんです。小ヶ坂さんが姉さんを悲しませて私が化けて出なくちゃいけない事態はないと思いますからね。
Tears pour out of Hisakaki's eyes. She cries for a long, long time. Cosmo embracing her all the while, like a mother soothing a child. Setsuna and I watch over them from behind the whole time. If they really wanted to just like fucking cause depression, they would have had a proper CG with the two of them like on their knees, like hugging each other and changing over.
小ヶ坂さん。
Okay, she's still there, so they wouldn't have done that. But I was gonna say like a CG of them like on their knees, hugging each other, and then the final CG. Maybe even just like for like a very short flash. It's just instead of them hugging anymore, it's just Komomo on the ground now hugging herself. Like if they could have done that if they really wanted to just fucking cause depression, you know. Hey there.
はい、こんにちは。
It's your turn today.
いえ、本当は姉さんです。姉さん、土日は自分が打ち水と掃除をやるって私とお母さんに言ってたんですよ。きっと小ヶ坂さんと一緒にお仕事をしたかったからだと思いますけど。ですから小ヶ坂さん、姉さんを悲しませたら。
Yeah, you'll come to haunt me with a naginata.
よくわかってらっしゃいますね。
Say, Coulson.
小ヶ坂さん。
Cosmo puts up her index finger. I feel like that this gesture stands for the very everyday life of Cosmo that I've come to
そ
know.
れ以上は言わなくて結構です。これはどうしようもないことですから。私がいなくなることはどうしようもないことなんですよ。
After finishing working together with Cosmo, we enter the house.
どうぞ。麦茶ですよ。
Cosmo, now changed out of her shrine maiden attire, brings me tea. See, I see it's a cold one
気
today.
温が高かったですからね。
Right, you're politely dressed too.
エッチな目で見ていますか？
That has nothing to do with how much skin you're showing,
と
okay?
てもしょんぼりです。
Is he trying to just do
小
something?
ヶ坂さんが私にエッチなことをしたら心置きなくなぎなたでバッサリ切れましたのに。
This has been on my mind for some time now, but, like, do you seriously want to see me dead?
愛情表現の範囲ですよ。
I guess you fall on the sadistic side of the spectrum, huh?
姉さんが M ですから。
Speaking of which, how's she doing at the moment? didn't see Zakaki come out during the course of our shrine work.
姉さんは今朝から部屋に閉じこもりっきりです。まだ眠っているのかもしれません。姉さんずっと泣いていましたから。
Alright.
ゆうべは家に帰ってからも姉さんをなだめるのに苦労したんですよ。
Would it have been better if I was there
い
too?
え、それを断ったのは私ですから。この問題はまずは私と姉さんの二人で解決しなければならないんです。小ヶ坂さんの役目は私がいなくなった後に姉さんのそばにいてあげることですよ。昨日はお風呂でお盛んでしたね。
Where'd that come from?
声が漏れていましたから、今後は気をつけた方がいいとお別れする前に忠告したかったんです。
I've no intention of saying goodbye.
エッチなのはいけませんよ。
How did you even get there?
私と姉さんとで 3P をしたいのかと。
Of course not!
私のこと嫌いですか？
That's not it either, obviously.
私の初めては姉さんと小ヶ坂さんのどちらに捧げればいいんでしょう。
You're only waiting me out when you say stuff like that, so don't.
くわばらくわばらですね。
Kosaman is smiling joyfully. Just can't think of her as already being dead at all. Knocking on wood was originally something done to ensure good weather, wasn't it?
よくご存知ですね。由来はいろいろあるようですけど、菅原道真の領地だった桑原には一度も雷が落ちなかったため、それにあやかっているというのが一般的のようですよ。
Do you not like bad weather or what?
いえ、私が苦手なのは人から詮索をされることです。私は小学校にほとんど通っていないと言いましたよね。それは人の身じゃないことを誰かに知られたくなかったからなんです。今はその頃よりはこの身を受け入れていますから、ひばり校にも普通に通っていますけど、それでもやっぱり自分の正体を詮索されたくなくて、くわばらくわばらが口癖になってしまったみたいです。人の注意を雷に例えているわけですね。
Gotta say, you're such a strong person, just like he's cocky.
そんな風に言われるとは思いもよりませんでした。
Just the way you can talk about all this so
強
calmly.
がっているだけですよ。
Just the same as he's cocky in that regard
そ
too.
れは私にとって最高の褒め言葉ですね。
Well, I am praising you.
エッチなのはいけませんよ。
Look, I'm not making a pass on you, alright? Doubt I'll ever get to be a match for her.
小ヶ坂さんは展望台の事故をどこまで把握していますか？
She brings up that topic. I still feel I only have a surface view. So with you saying that you've lost your life, that only makes me wonder how you're in front of me in the first place.
それではお話しいたします。
Kosama straightens her
あなたに
posture.
は知る権利がありますから。母ももうあなたには隠さずとも良いと考えているでしょうから、姉さんを託すという意味合いで全てをお話ししようと思います。それは今から7年前の初夏のこと。私はご神体であるひばりが崎隕石を晴天宮から持ち出して展望台を目指しました。それは姉さんを困らせたいという目的があったからです。夏祭りが近く、ご神体の前で神楽の練習に打ち込んでいた姉さんが私に全然構ってくれなかったから。
That's the least spoilery CG I can use, so I feel like I'm gonna use it. I feel like I'm also gonna reuse it in Kosama's route, weirdly enough.
私は甘えん坊な子供でした。夏休みに入れば毎日のように姉さんにくっついているのが常でした。夏祭りに海水浴に肝試し。私は姉さんと遊ぶのを楽しみにしていました。なのにその年からは母に言われ、姉さんは 巫女神楽の練習をすることになりました。夏祭りに舞姫として神楽を舞うのはまだ何年か先でも、早くから練習は必要ということで、そのため夏休みは私と遊べないと言われてしまったんです。その前月の7月からも私と遊ぶ時間がほとんどなくなってしまったんです。私がいくら誘っても、生真面目な姉さんは一日たりとも練習を休もうとはしません。私に構ってくれません。それどころか、神楽がうまく舞えないときは、私と遊ぶ約束を破ってまで練習に励むようになりました。私は寂しさに泣いて、それでも姉さんは困った顔をするだけで練習を続けようとして、私はついに姉さんが見ている前でご神体を盗み出し、家を飛び出してしまったんです。もう日が暮れかけた時間でした。神社の裏手に伸びる林道を走って、時折後ろを振り返って、姉さんが怒りながら追いかけているのを見て、展望台に着いたところで追いつかれそうになって、私はご神体を投げ捨てて逃げるように木に登ったんです。姉さんは危ないから降りてこいと必死に下から呼びかけていました。私は得意になってますます上に登りました。途中で疲れたので頑丈そうな枝に腰を下ろして姉さんを見下ろしました。姉さんがとても小さく見えました。怖かったですけど、姉さんの私を呼ぶ声がまだ聞こえていたので安心したのかもしれません。私は眼下に広がる景色を眺めました。夕焼けの赤に沈むひばりが崎の街並みは恐ろしいくらい鮮烈で見入るほどに綺麗でした。顔を上げると夕闇と闇夜、赤と黒の境目がくっきりと見えました。そしてその時見つけたんです。その境目を裂くように横切る星、夕焼けの赤に負けず光り輝く一番星、流れ星でした。流れ星が珍しくないひばりが崎でもあんなに大きなものは初めてでした。その流れ星は長い時間空を流れていました。私は下にいる姉さんに教えようとしました。空を指さしながら下を覗き込んで、その体勢が悪かったんでしょうね。私はバランスを崩し、枝を掴んでいたもう片方の手を滑らせて落ちてしまう。そこから先の記憶は少し飛んでしまいます。気がついた時、私は姉さんの前に立っていました。姉さんは私が持ち出したひばりが崎隕石を抱いて眠っていました。顔にはたくさんの涙の跡、衣服や手には血の名残がありました。私はわけもわからず、そんな姉さんをただぼんやりと見下ろしていました。そして私たちを探しに来た母に見つかり、こっぴどく叱られながら家に連れ返されて、数日後、私は自分の体の変化に気づきました。私は食事を取らなくても空腹にならない体質になっていました。私は太陽の光に当たっても日焼けをしない体質になっていました。
She did mention earlier in the story that she has a condition that makes it so she can't tan.
この身に血は通っていても、およそ人間とは思えない体質が他にもたくさん見つかりました。私は両親に相談し、ちょうどこの頃から悪夢にうなされていた姉さんも同じように相談していて、父の病院で二人で内密に検査を受け、私がすでに展望台で死んでいたことが分かりました。この結果を父は隠蔽したのだと思います。
Hence why her father was so intent about shutting down the fucking
でなけれ
lookout.
ば、今頃私は医療機関に体の隅々までいじられていたかもしれません。 エッチなこともされていたかもしれませんね。笑えませんか？
It's hard to laugh at that.
しょんぼりですね。
Even if some medical institution or research lab attempted to do something to you, I'd never let them.
私を守ってくれるんですか？その言葉、かけるべき相手を間違えていませんか？
No.
刹那先輩も私を守ると言ってくださいました。だから小ヶ坂さんは姉さんをよろしくお願いします。
Setsuna basically told me that once too. I already have my hands full with protecting just one
私が
person.
すでに死んでいる。そう聞かされた時、すぐには信じられませんでした。ですが、現実に私の体は他と異なっていましたから、信じるしかなかったんです。私は絶望し、泣き明かすようになりました。両親はずっと謝っていました。父も母も悪くない。悪いのは私なのに、私は誰の顔も見たくなくなって、何より自分の体を人に知られたくなくて、学校に通えなくなりました。そんな風に、メソメソと部屋に引きこもっている間、姉さんが、いつも私を慰めてくれたんです。姉さんは、私がなぜ登校拒否をするのか知らなかったようです。いえ、忘れたと言った方が正しいでしょう。姉さんは、私の前で、決して事故のことに触れようとしませんでした。最初は、私に気を使っていたためでしたが、いつからか、本当に忘れたような素振りを見せ始めました。だからかもしれません。両親は、私とどのように接するべきか迷っていたのに、姉さんだけは、分け隔てなく接してくれた。普段と何も変わらず、私のそばにいてくれたんです。私はまた、姉さんに甘えられるようになりました。昔以上に甘えるようになりました。姉さんのぬくもりを感じたい。姉さんの吐息を感じたい。姉さんの存在を感じたい。姉さんを感じている。自分を感じたい。姉さんに触れたら、こんなにも感じられる。生きてるって感じられる。私は、生きてるんだって。
What's the matter? I'm able to contain myself further. I can't contain myself. Words leave my mouth. Is there really nothing that can be done anymore?
はい。
Been spending time with each other perfectly normally until now, and yet now we have to say goodbye.
はい。私は間違った存在ですから。
Not a single one of us thinks of you like that.
思っていますよ。
If so, I won't go easy on him.
それでは、お願いします。この私を、お願いします。小ヶ坂さんは、私をどう容赦しませんか？私を、襲いますか？私と、エッチなこと、しますか？
You'd cut me down with a naginata if I did.
姉さんがすると思いますよ。
I just can't help but wonder. Is there really nothing anyone can
刹
do?
那先輩は、お仕事を降りてしまいましたけど、私は今夜、メアさんに頼むつもりです。私を送り返してほしいと。悪夢そのものである私を、買ってほしいと。メアさんは、私に少なからず恨みを抱いていると思いますから、きっと、一思いに買ってくれると思うんです。
Like, next stage, he just goes there, asks her to reap her, and the mayor just stands there like, nah. What? But why not? Well, I don't feel like it. But why not? I attacked you! Yeah, exactly, so I'm gonna fucking do what you want me to do? Fucking go, it's not. I'm also swinging by Izakaki's room. I knock somewhat hesitantly, and I'm considering whether I should leave again, since there's no reply when...
誰？
I hear a faint voice from the other side of the door. It's me,
小
Izakaki.
ヶ坂くん、
Want to see you? May I come in?
ごめんなさい。
You can tell she's been crying from the hoarseness of her voice. She isn't sleeping now, and my guess is that she hasn't gotten any since
少
yesterday.
しでいいの。少しでいいから。 整理させて、心の準備をさせて。
I don't say anything to her in response. Ready yourself for the event. Her eventual partying with Kosame? Or something else? Just one more thing. Kosame's heading to the lookout tonight. I believe in you.
それでこそ私の彼氏よ。
I believe in her. She's a strong person. Even behind the mask she puts on, deep inside, she also possesses real strength. So it doesn't matter what sort of future lies in the end, at the end of this road. I know for a fact that she and I will be able to live with it. And not just that, we also have the strength to change the future. Time to violate some natural laws of the world! She opens her eyes only to see red. Crimson, the sunset is seeping into her room. Komomo forces her languid body up and looks directly at it. Her eyes hurt. Her eyes so tear-swollen. Inside those eyes of hers, so tired and blurry from crying, she sees crystal clear the red memories return to her. The memories return to her. Her younger self has in her hand that naginata, which hardly suits her tiny stature, and dances around with it recklessly. You can imagine how much eagerness she felt at the time doing this, but it incites chills out of fear that she'd hurt herself when watching as an onlooker. She can tell that Kosame, who's watching over her from afar, also has that same fear. There also exists a dull replica specifically for the purpose of practice, but Komomo would often use the real one when her mother wasn't around. Despite her enthusiasm, she was never able to dance well. She could easily imagine how frustrating that must have been on her childlike mind, seeing how she would over and over trip on the same movement, only then start from the very beginning again with visible irritation. She thinks that maybe Kosame was watching from afar and wanted to do something to help her. Kosame said she wanted to practice too, but since Komomo was agitated from her repeated failures, the words she spoke to her younger sister were cold. Don't come near me, okay? This isn't your problem. I'm the one performing the dance, not you, so go away. For the thousandth time, I don't have the time to play with you. As far as Kosame was chosen as the future Kagura dancer, it was the fact that her being the older sister, but there was also the fact that the spiritual power she had from the Seitengu lineage were outstanding. She of course didn't buy into the idea of those sort of powers, but looking back, she thinks that maybe there had also been something like conceit. She responded to Kosame's feelings with hostility. She trampled on the worrying Kosame's generosity. It seemed to have made Kosame terribly lonely, so one day she ran off with the meteorite and shrine to the main building where Komomo was in the middle of practice there. Komomo knows it must have been because she wanted her to stop practicing. That maybe she figured if the object of worship were gone, there would consequently no longer be a point in practicing. Stunned by Kosame's actions, she was left behind in the building by herself. At first, she had decided to simply continue her practice in the now silent building, but regret soon washed over her. She noticed that Kosame's absence was the far greater problem than that of the meteorite. It was then, too, that she realized that it was only because her younger sister had been watching over her that she had managed to go on with the harsh practice. And so she took to her feet and chased after her.
小雨、危ないから降りてきてよ。危なくないよ。私、お姉ちゃんと同じで運動神経いいんだから。いいから降りてきてったら。もう暗くなってきたし、早く帰るわよ。私、帰らないから。小雨、怒ってるの？悪かったから、明日から一緒に遊んであげるから。え？何？よく聞こえないよ。
Kosame was already really high up. So high up that she couldn't really hear Komomo's voice anymore. Her eyes were not focused on Komomo, but instead on the town in the distance. Komomo gave up on shouting at her and figured she would have to climb up there herself and drag her back down. It happened when she put her hands on the tree trunk. For a fleeting moment, she felt a flash in the sky. It was so dazzling that she used her hands to block the light. Following that, she gingerly directed her gaze towards it. It was a shooting star. That was the first time she had seen such a large one. That's probably where her hate for stars came from. It hung up there in the sky, flying through what felt like an eternity. Wanted to tell Cosme about it before it was gone. Komomo looked up. Yet her sister was no longer there. At practically the same time, a dark silhouette appeared in the corner of her eyes, and she stretched out her hand towards it in reflex. Right beyond the tip of her fingers, Cosme fell and crashed with a thud. The sense of loss hit her like a truck almost immediately. She felt utter despair, as if half of her own self had just been torn away from her. Her vision was spinning. The colors of her surroundings faded into monochrome. Her mind was no longer able to tell whether it was ground or sky she was standing on. Amongst that, in a patch covered by green and black, she saw her younger sister, Cosme, her body coated in deep red. The red that lined her entire body was much more vivid than that of the sunset. It was because of that she knew that the red covering her vision was not only from the sunset, but also from the blood pouring out of her younger sister. Her body instantly froze over. Reality before her made it feel as though her body had been drained of all its warmth. Her own body grew colder in conjunction with Cosume's as she stood there, gazing down upon her. It was cold. It was so cold. Terribly, terribly cold. For long, even that sensation faded. Nothingness washed over her. And that, she came to know, the feeling of death. Definite, absolute death. But what she also knew was that by making use of her powers, she had the ability to overturn even such a definite, ingrained part of reality as death. The blood flowing out from Kosume's body had spread over and dyed the meteorite she had flung to this ground in red. Red pouring out of her spiritless vessel was wetting the source of life. The spiritualism she had once been taught by her mother. The astral spirit ritual she vaguely remembered. She didn't have the time to collect star sand. There was the meteorite, so she was sure it would do the job. Because the precious life he cherished so dear that once began in the sea had its origin in the far vaster reaches of space. After he finished the ritual, another Cosmo was standing in front of her. After recognizing that with her fading consciousness, the Cosmo on the ground became starlight and dispersed. Using the Banigazaki meteorites to Tengu deified as a host object, Komomo had succeeded in summoning Kosume's soul. However, likely because her consciousness was hazy at the time, she couldn't think of both the accident and the ritual as things that really happened. All of that was just a bad dream. Because it's a host object, they never found the second meteorite because that's what they took back as the host object, isn't it? Or something along those lines. A nightmare. After all, her precious younger sister was right there in her arms. She could feel her warmth all too clearly. She must have been alive. There was no way at all that she could have been dead. Komomo had wanted to keep believing that forever. The nightmares that she started to have practically every day from then on showed her falling, surrounded by red. She consulted her parents about her nightmares, and after she and Cosme had been examined at the hospital, her parents informed her of the truth. She was told that Cosme was already dead. That the Cosme before her should be thought of as something like a ghost, and that they couldn't leave her like that. Someday they would have to send her back to the place she belonged. Whoops. Komomo, of course, would have none of it. She said it didn't matter if she were a ghost or what. The last thing she wanted was to say goodbye to her sister. Her parents were visibly troubled. Just that, though. They didn't say anything. After that, Komomo continued being tormented by nightmares. She saw Cosme dying in her dreams over and over again. Even if she convinced herself that Cosme wasn't a ghost, her nightmares kept thrusting the reality of her death before her. Each time she cursed the shooting star that had been the cause of Kosume's death. After all, had she not been captivated by that shooting star, she would have been able to catch her sister. Even if she were squashed under her, so be it. She would have gladly served as her cushion, should she have needed to. Gladly offered herself to die if it meant Kosume living. Komomo would go to the lookout and throw stones at the lookout's skies, the night sky dotted with stars. Bring Kosume back, she yelled with every stone she threw. She threw stones after stone, again and again. She continued hurling stones at those cursed stars that lay just out of her reach. She believes it must have been at the time when she had met Mare. She still cannot remember what happened on that day she met her. She surmises it probably must be because after effects of having her nightmare reap still remain. However, starting from that day onwards, she no longer had any memories of what happened at the lookout. The sole thing that remained was the disdain she felt towards the stars. The fact that she had trouble going to the lookout. After she lost her memories of the accident, she had really wished for things to remain as they were. She must have wished so subconsciously. She didn't want to face Kosume's death. She wanted to persist in believing that Kosume was alive. As a result, she found herself no longer able to enter the lookout. Because of course doing so ran the possibility of the memories she'd finally forgotten reawakening. It was an instinctive fear of that that caused her body to go on strike when she would try to go to the lookout. Even if she herself didn't remember, her body remembered all of those stones she threw. So even after comprehending it rationally, the subconscious rejection took hold. Komomo moves her feet out of bed and puts them on the floor. The light of the setting sun is shining through the window. Sunset, which she so despises. She has been running away from that red as well until now.
だけど、もう思い出したからね。
By entering the lookout back during summer break, forgotten memories were stimulated and manifested in the form of the nightmares that she'd been having as a kid. Komomo takes off her pajamas and begins to get
逃
ready.
げるわけにはいかないのよ。
The only clothing she has on now is her underwear. They are all sweating, so she takes them off too. Before putting on clothes, she touches her naked body, her bare skin. She can still feel it there. She can still feel him.
待たせるわけにもいかないのよ。
Oh, and takes up her red Shrine Maiden garb. Shrine Maiden outfit H scene coming up after this, I feel. Oh, there you are, Hizukaki. Hizukaki walks across the grounds with her Shrine Maiden outfit on.
小ヶ坂くん、
What's that look of surprise for?
まさかずっとそこにいたの？
Yep.
お昼から？
Since then?
ずっと待っててくれたの？
Yeah.
家に帰ったと思ってたのに。
Well, I could stay closer to you this way. Said that I believe in you, didn't I? Kosume already went off to the lookout. I wanted to stop her, but, well, I couldn't. Sorry.
ううん、私の方こそ遅くなってごめん。
It's all good, we can still make it. The sun has only just now crossed below the horizon. It hasn't been that long since Kosume entered the forest path beyond the shrine grounds in order to head to the lookout either.
あのね、小ヶ坂くん、私は小雨が好き。
Is that anything you need to say? Of course you do.
だけどね、同じくらい嫌い。
Hizukaki bites her lip
私に
hard.
隠してきて、悩みを隠してきて、ずっと一人で悩んでいて、私が忘れていたからって相談もしないで大嫌い。だけど好き、大好き。小雨がいなくなったら、この好きも嫌いも伝えられなくなるのよね。
And so Hizukaki gets going. Let's hurry then.
ええ。
Me knowing Mare, she might go and do it without a second thought.
言ったみたいね。
そのようです。
今夜決着はつくのかしらね。
ここまで長くかかったのはひとえにあなたが元凶です。
きっぱり言うわね。
疑問だったのです。あなたはなぜ久垣小桃に私たちのなりわいを伏せていたのか、久垣小桃が持つ霊能力を教えなかったのか、忘れたままにしておくのか。
おかげでここまで長くかかった？
はい。
小桃は精霊の儀をとんでもない形で成功させた力の持ち主よ。おっかなくて教えられるわけないでしょうが。
理由はそれだけですか？
逆に聞くけど、小桃がなぜ忘れたのか。
小雨の死による心理的なショックか、あるいは
誰かが記憶を送り返したか。
我らの故郷である星に返したわけですね。だとすると、当時の久垣小桃にとっての悪夢は展望台の事故ではなく聖天宮の生業ということになりますが。
ええ、小雨を降霊したという記憶、精霊の儀でしょうね。だから小桃は今も精霊の儀の方法を忘れたままなんでしょうね。そうなると事故の記憶の方は心理的ショックで忘れたと考えられる。小桃の心は小雨の死を受け入れる余裕がなかったのよ。旦那の受け振りだけどね。だから待ちたかった。小桃が受け入れられるようになるまで待ちたかった。それまでは霊能力や聖天宮のなりわいなんかで小桃を変に刺激したくなかったのよ。
だから私と小雨に口止めしていたわけですか？
そうよ。
久垣小桃が小雨の死を受け入れた、その結果が今夜わかるわけですか？
多分ね。
止めなくてよかったのですか？
小桃と小雨、どっちを？
まやかさんが小雨を送り返したいと思っているのなら前者ですね。
私だって明確な答えを持ってるわけじゃないわ。それに娘同士が真剣に向き合っているところに親が口出すわけにもいかないでしょ。
卑怯な大人の言い分ですね。
あなただって何もしてないじゃない。
私は信じているのですよ。
私だってそうよ。
卑怯な大人ですね。
あなた、私に恨みでもあるの？
今更ですね。
まあ私たちが介入しなくても仲裁役は他にいるじゃない。
彼ですか？
そう、小ヶ坂くん。
彼も見ていて危なっかしいところがありますがね。
若者はそれくらいでちょうどいいんじゃない？
すっかり枯れた大人の言い分ですね。
あなたも若者のくせに枯れすぎだわ。
分別をわきまえていると言ってほしいですね。
その分別をわきまえたあなたは全てが終わってから総本社に戻るの？
はい、処分を請うつもりです。
やめておきなさい。
なぜですか？
私が困るから。
何ですかそれは？
不正がバレるじゃない。
何ですか不正とは？
これまでいろいろごまかしてあなたをひばりが崎に引き止めてたってのに。
たった今あなたは私の敵となりました。
頭固いわね。
あなたが柔らかすぎるんです。
じゃああなたが納得する形で引き止めようかしら。
もはやどんな形でも納得できないと思いますが。
あなたひばり校を卒業していきなさい。あなたはテンクルの部員なんでしょ。卒業まで仲間と一緒に天体観測を楽しみなさい。小雨の友達になれたあなたならできるはずよ。これはあなたの上司としての命令よ。
その上司の威厳は地に落ちていますがね。
だったら言い換えるわ。これは小雨の母からのお願いよ。
そう言われては断れませんね。
あなたは 信じていると言ったものね。結果は何も一つじゃない。小桃に悪夢を克服する強さがあるのなら、もう一つの結末が生まれると思うのよ。
メアさん、いらっしゃいませんか？聞こえていたら出てきていただけませんか？小ヶ坂さんと一緒じゃないとダメですか？お願いします。私の前に姿を見せていただけませんか？もこもこ。メアさん、ありがとうございます。あなた、もこもこよね。誰のことでしょう？久垣もこもこだと思ったから出てきたんだけど。もしかして、姉さんのことでしょうか？私は、妹の小雨ですよ。懲りずに私を襲いに来たの？いえ、逆ですよ。今夜は、メアさんが私を襲うんです。遅くなりましたけど、その説は申し訳ございませんでした。お詫びに、その鎌で私を叩きのめしてください。私を送り返してください。あなた、人じゃないのね。はい。だけど、私とも違うみたい。私は精神でも精霊でもありませんから。姉さんが行った精霊の儀は過去に霊を見ない方法だったそうですから、生まれた私も聖天宮にとって過去に霊を見ない存在だそうですから、人と神の間にたゆたう半端者なんですよ。よくわからないけど、だけどあなたが私を襲った理由分かった気がするわ。筋違いかもしれませんが、ありがとうございます。私はあなたに同情しない。はい、それで正しいと思います。怖くないの？ありませんよ。私、あなたが嫌い。はい。そんな風に強がってばかりのあなたが嫌い。あなたの姉の方がまだましだったわ。自分の弱さを諦めず、もがいている分だけ。それじゃあ、バカバカなあなたに免じて、考え直す間もなくやってあげる。はい、そんなメアさんだから、私は大好きですよ。その口、すぐに塞いであげるわ。
The scythe the mayor holds up reflects the starlight of the night sky, to which of those numerous stars does Kosovo mean to return to? Distance to which we'll be torn apart is an unfathomable degree. Distance infinitely further than the one separating me from this town when I moved away. Mayor! Mayor jumps in response to my shout and stops her scythe. Be a good girl and put the scythe down.
子供扱いしないで。姉さん。
Bitch, you don't get to kill yourself. Hisaki approaches her. She places herself in between Mayor and Kosame.
小雨。
Don't kiss her again.
あなた一人が怖い思いすることないじゃない。
I guess there's another option. Ah!
だから、メアさん。やるなら、私を買って、私に鎌を振るって、悪夢を買って、それでも、小雨は送り返されるんでしょ？姉さん。あなた一人が我慢することないんだから、あなたと私は一心同体。喜びも悲しみも、楽しいことも苦しいことも、笑顔も涙もすべてを分かち合う。それが私とあなたの関係。 久垣小桃と久垣小雨。姉妹よりも恋人よりも強固な絆。そんなことを言うと小ヶ坂さんが嫉妬しますよ。小ヶ坂くんなら分かってくれるわ。
Yep, I'm an open-minded guy.
ヘタレだからね。
Maybe we should break
小
up.
ヶ坂さん、何度でも言います。姉さんをよろしくお願いします。
Yeah, promisable.
姉さん、分かってる。小ヶ坂くんと仲良くしなさいって言いたいんでしょ？はい、約束してくれるなら私が思い残すことはありません。姉さん、約束するわ。ありがとう姉さん、ありがとう。
Cosmo's tears. Yeah, the tears she refused to show at all costs, no matter how much she was crying on the
私
inside.
辛かった。とても苦しかった。ずっと怖かった。姉さんと離れたくない。姉さんとずっと一緒にいたい。だけどできない。
This music really reminds me of Dragon Quest Sentinels of the Sky, or whatever it was fucking called. I think it was Dragon Quest 9, the one where you play an angel that fell to earth. The one with the fucking figs. The fucking Zeus himself, for some reason. Like, I don't remember why, but they decided, yes, Zeus is just in this game. And he turned his fucking daughter into Yggdrasil. So that's fucking confusing. Oh, by the way, spoiler for a game that came out when again? I fucking forget, it's so old. Hold on. Dragon Quest. It was Dragon Quest 9. Sentinels of the Starry Sky. That came out in fucking 2009. So, you know. You have no right to complain about spoilers anymore, since it's 10 years old. Over 10 years. 13, if you really want to be precise. Who the fuck texted me the moment I put down the goddamn phone? How rude. Oh, it's a fucking email. An email I don't give a shit about, too. Oh, oh no, somebody just asked me where the fuck to get Majikoi S. So it was an honest question, so I just felt the need to actually answer. Anyways.
自信がない。姉さんと一緒にいられる自信がない。 一緒にいていいって思えない。だから辛くて苦しかった。私いついなくなるかわからないから、私いつまで姉さんの妹でいられるかわからないから。うん。怖かったの。ずっと。うん。怖かったよ。うん。怖かったよ。お姉ちゃん。
Then Mare's scythe pierces Hisakaki's chest. Guess it was fitting that I only said I would go for a short one today, since there was not much left. I know what the fuck I'm doing. That's a nice ending theme, but at the same time kind of generic. Fuck it, I'ma skip it. I don't feel like it right now. Sorry, but you know.
僕らの住むこの地球は隕石の衝突によって成長していったという説がある。隕石による衝突エネルギーがマグマの海を作り、炭素化合物が蒸発することで大気を形成していった。それから数億年が過ぎ、マグマが冷えて固まると大気中の水蒸気が雨となって降り注ぎ、今度は原子の海を作る。そしてその海にはね、生態関連物質であるアミノ酸がたくさん含まれていたんだ。
We don't need a lecture on the fucking origin of life right now.
隕石が宇宙を旅して運んできた生命の源さ。
隕石飛来説ですよね、それ。
That is actually quite a nice outfit on her. Huh. I dig it a lot, actually.
私たちは隕石によって生まれたんですか？
一つの説としてね。現代科学では生命誕生についてはまだ十分な証拠を揃えられていないんだ。だけど太古に落ちた流れ星が僕たちを生んだというのはロマンチックだと思わないかい？
思います。マグマの海から生まれた生命、いわゆるスライムですか？スライムから離れようよ、葵さん。あくまで邪悪な方をプッシュしていきたいと思います。
Monday, the respect for the aged today. The sun has fallen by now. I mean, technicalities, yes, sure. That is a valid way of putting it. Just say the sun has set by now. in the afternoon, we took pictures of the meteorites, so now the plan is to have a stargazing session on the shrine grounds. Man, the meteorites that rained down at the time must have been ridiculously huge.
だと思うよ。このひばりが咲隕石よりもずっと大きかったんじゃないかな。
もし隕石が落ちなかったら、僕たちは生まれずに、テンクルで星を見上げることもできなかったわけだね。
So thinking about it like that, maybe there was also life born from Ibarigasaki's meteorite.
そう考えるともっとロマンチックだね。その命が私たちの身近にいたら、私たちと一緒に星を見上げているかもしれないんですね。
Oh, it's unusual for you to say something beautiful like that.
私はスライムが大好きですから、可愛いので。あくまでスライムなんだね。邪悪で可愛いスライムをプッシュしていきたいと思います。
Really rude to call Kosame a slime. That's why you like evilish stuff, even though you couldn't handle that test of courage well, huh?
可愛い幽霊なら好きになれると思います。
そろそろ境内に出ようか。マヤカさんたちが待ってる。
Right. Mark is currently getting the telescope ready outside. The greatest of spirits at that, since it has apparently been a while since she last did stargazing.
外に出るとやっぱり寒いね。
もっと厚着してくればよかったかな。
昼間は暖かかったのに。
若者が何だらしないこと言ってるの？夜はまだまだこれからだってのに。
Mayaka, stop being so fucking hot, please! God! Ah! Next to Mayaka stands someone visibly being put out of her comfort zone.
せつな先輩、もしかして参加してくれるんですか？
まあな。
This is the first I've seen you come to the club. This is the first I've seen you come to a club meeting.
たまにはな。
So have you graduated from being a paper member now?
うぬぼれるな。
What kind of answer is that supposed to be?
照れているのさ、せつな君は。
お前は誰だ？
どうせ僕は影が薄い部長さ。
Okay, easy. He grows sulky and thus starts to fiddle with a puzzle ring.
あの人が幽霊部員として名高いせつな先輩ですか？
君は新入部員だったか？
先輩は私の目指す立ち位置です。
君とは仲良くできそうな気がする。
私もです。
I don't quite get it, but I guess they feel an affinity.
で、いつまで無駄話してるのよ。
I hear a voice from somewhat far away.
望遠鏡の準備、もう終わってるんだけど。
Just felt like I heard something at the door. Must be going insane again. Zukaki is standing in front of the telescope, complaint after complaint leaving her mouth.
天体観測するならするで、早くしなさいよね。風冷たいからさっさと終わらせて家戻りたいんだから。
Are you cold?
寒いわよ。
Want me to warm you up?
ここでやったら蹴り倒す。
Come on now, that's just unfair. You never kick Gossamer when she forces herself upon you.
やきもち
No.
寒いのは嫌いよ。冬も大嫌い。ひばりが咲の冬は特に寒いから。だからきっと私冬の天体観測なんて耐えられない。誰かのぬくもりがないと耐えられない。小笠原くんがいないと耐えられないし、小雨がいなくても耐えられないのよ。小笠原さん、姉さん。
Gossamer also approached.
なぜ私は送り返されていないのか。
Like this is like a whole day after the whole debacle. He's just standing there like, wait, actually.
あの時姉さんの悪夢は確かに駆られたはずなのに。答えは一つしかないじゃない。あなたは 私にとってもう悪夢ではなくなっていたのよ。私はあなたをあなたとして受け入れることができたのよ。
Cosme stopped being a nightmare to Izakaki. No matter what Cosme actually was, it made no difference. To Izakaki Komomo, Izakaki Cosme was her little sister, not a single thing more. That was probably exactly what Cosme had longed for. She wanted proof that it would be okay for her to be here. Proof that it would be alright for her to stay with us.
姉さん。
I feel like this is the nicest picture to choose. Especially since I just straight up like those two outfits. Like, why do these two just get, like, the very cozy looking and actually kind of hot sweater?
小ヶ坂さん、私はいつまでこうしていられるかわかりません。いついなくなってもおかしくない。なのに。
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, doesn't the same go for all of us? From the perspective of those stars sitting up there in the night sky, our lives are no more than a blink of an eye. Ibarigazaki's starry sky. Over a very long period of time, it keeps changing. New stars are born and old ones die out. When you compare them to the lifespan of us humans, they're next to immortal.
だから私たちとあなたは何も変わらないのよ。はい。
Summer ends and fall comes thereafter. Fall soon ends and next winter comes. Starry sky of fall will change over to that of winter. Scott, you want to know something? You too, Cosme. Jiminy is the brightest shining constellation in winter. Winter will come, no matter how cold it might get. But no matter how cold it might get, there is no need to worry. We can warm each other just like this. I can only imagine how absolutely gorgeous the Jiminids will be from Ibarigasaki.
冬が楽しみですね。そうね。みんなで流れ星を見上げる日がとても楽しみね。
Like, the others in the fucking Astro Circle must just be like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Like, all these
これか
people...
ら先もきっと私たちは共にあるから。
You know, it's nice that you do this, but maybe put a text for what the fuck she's saying, because I didn't understand a thing or fucking thing she just said. All I understood was something about Tomo, which should be like friends. Like, with my very, 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 very limited Japanese, no. Vaga Tomoyo and all that, you know? The background changed. Open albums. That's something gonna be new. Not really. Anyways, so yeah, that there we're Komomo-Route not tonight. Next time, we're gonna be starting with Kusama's route. So that's something to look forward to. I want to say something else, but fucking blanked out and forgot. Odd. Oh well. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And see you next time. Bye-bye.